The debate over the power of the Indigenous Peoples Basic Law has re-emerged after the CIP rejected Katipul community argument that their hunting activities should be protected by law. CIP maintains that the residents should seek prior approval of Wildlife Conservation Act. However, Secretary General of Taiwan Association for Human Rights, Lin Shu-ya, says the Basic Law is a special legislation which overrides the Wildlife Conservation Act.
On December 18, the Council of Indigenous Peoples told people from Katatipul that they must follow the Wildlife Conservation Act and apply with Taitung County Government for permission to hunt. The Council rejected Katatipul members, reasoning that their right to hunt is protected by the Indigenous Peoples Basic Law. Lin Shu-ya, Secretary General of Taiwan Association for Human Rights, said the Basic Law is a special legislation which should override the Wildlife Conservation Act. Via the phone interview, Lin said that the ranking of Indigenous Peoples Basic Law is higher because it is the first law for the Indigenous people. It ranks only under the Constitution. She added that issues regarding Indigenous people, the recognition of the tribes, their traditions and ways of life, their rights to traditional territory and natural resources, as well as their natural rights to wildlife resources, are all governed by the Basic Law. In the past, Indigenous people were not restricted by any rules in practicing their traditional rituals, but now they must report such activities to authorities and seek approval. However, Lin said regardless of which government unit they report to, the authorities should allow them to perform their traditional activities in accordance with the Indigenous Peoples Basic Law. Whether they are on traditional hunting grounds or ritual grounds in Katatipul or other Bioma land, when they need a piece of land to conduct their traditional rituals, the government should give its approval. Indigenous people are still unsure of the power of the Indigenous Peoples Basic Law. To avoid reoccurrence of the confusion in the future, perhaps the government needs to provide a better interpretation of the Basic Law. TITV Weekly.